Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben Parks, 225 Marathon, and today we're talking all things easy runs. We're going to be answering those all important questions. How slow should my easy runs be? How do you go about slowing it down? How do you monitor it? And most importantly, how do we know that we're going to be doing it right? Well, answer all those questions. Let's get easy runs done. So super quickly, just want to have a quick chat about easy runs and why they're so important. Well, basically, low intensity running really helps us build a lot of volume safely. If we do a lot of our runs too hard, then we won't be recovering properly and will be more prone to injury. They increase mitochondria density, increase capillary development, and allow our muscle fibers to become stiffer, stronger, bone density to improve, and our ligaments to adapt and strengthen. They're also really good to teach our mind as well, to teach us not to go off too fast, to learn all about pacing, which is so important in our running. So you're all ready to go out on your run. Now, how are you going to calculate what pace to run at, what sort of intensity? Well, there's lots of different ways. We're going to talk about the main ones here. But probably the most common one is to be using a chest strap, a heart rate monitor, to monitor that intensity as you go along. For most people, this is going to be zone 2 heart rate running, which is around about 60 to 75% of our maximum heart rate. Now, I would say when you first start doing this, you're going to be running very, very slow, a lot slower than you have been used to. When I first started, this was around about 540 a K for me, and now, after doing this for many years, my easy run pace is around about 420 a K. So it does take a while for the body to adapt, so don't be too disheartened if you're running incredibly slow when you first start out. You can also use some recent race times to calculate your easy pace. It's going to be around about 45 to 90 seconds per mile slower than your marathon pace, or 30 to 45 seconds slower per kilometre than your marathon pace. Now, we do have a pace chart, which is a completely free download, which you can get from the website. We'll link to that down below, where it will give you paces for all of your runs, your easy pace, your marathon pace, your interval pace, your strides pace, and you can look at it for your different race goals. So it's a completely free download, linked down below. Now, with those first two ways, using heart rate or a pacing chart, of course there is going to be a bit of a range depending on how you're feeling. My current marathon pace is around about 340 a K. My easy runs can be 415 a K if I'm feeling really good and poppy, but it could also be around 435 to 440 a K if I'm feeling a little bit tired, a little bit lethargic. So it's always important here to be listening to your body. It could be a big range in easy pace depending on how you're feeling on the day. Now, a third way we can go about working out our easy pace is basically using that RPE scale, that rate of perceived exertion. So if walking's around about a 1 and 10 is your all-out 100-meter sprint, then easy is going to be around sort of a 3 or 4 out of 10. A lot of people will run without a watch at all, or if we have a watch, just cover it up, put something over the screen, a long sleeve or something, or some gloves, whatever you want over the screen, and just run on feel and enjoy it and be in the moment, a little bit more mindful. We recommend this with all the athletes that we coach, at least every couple of weeks, just to go out without the tech telling us everything to do and just feel our body and feel what it's like to be running truly easy pace. A fun way we can do this is to go out running with a friend or a colleague or just someone else to go out running, maybe in a group as well, which will just keep your running pace conversational. You might hear some people call it easy running is conversational pace, and that's because we should be able to have a conversation with a fellow runner, with other people around us as we're running at this pace. So it can be a really good idea to go with some friends, go for a catch up and just have a chat, and you'll find that in order to have a chat, you'll need to dial that pace back and keep it nice and conversational as you run. Now, you can also set up your watch. Now, this works with Garmin and it works with Coros to give alerts to make sure you're sticking in your exact heart rate zone that you want to be in, or your pace zone that you want to be in as well. These will just keep you in check as you run along. A little fun fact as well, you can also set up nutrition alerts on your watch as well, which beep and go off every time you need to be taking some nutrition on board. So yeah, have a look at those on your watches and set up those alerts to keep you dialed in to the pace you need to be running. Quickly guys, if you are finding this video useful, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and answer today's question of the day is, what's your best tip for helping out the community with easy runs. What works for you? Let us know down below, and we'll catch up down there and chat all things easy running. Now, a lot of people do struggle when they first start running at this easy pace because our stride and our cadence and things changes. A lot of people just know that one default way to run and they end up running too fast on a lot of their runs. So I would say just have this in your head. Your stride length is going to naturally shorten a little bit, but try and get your cadence around about the same. So around about 175 to 180 for your cadence, but you just want to be dropping that stride length down, taking a lot smaller steps as we run. We don't want to make any too big drastic changes here because that might lead us to become a little bit more injury prone, but just have that visualization in your head of just shortening our stride length just a little bit as we dial in that easy pace. If you are still really struggling to slow down, it can be a good idea to get yourself on a treadmill, which will really force you to run a lot slower, as the treadmill does that work and controls the speed that you're running along at. Now, a lot of people love to run fast. We get it. It's really good fun to be going out there as fast as possible. And I'd say using a proper structured training plan, which coincidentally we do sell on my website, benparks.com. All the beginner plans are completely free though. That's going to give you a lot of variety throughout the week to keep things entertaining, keep things fun. It's going to have your speed sessions and a lot of your easy sessions, loads of pace charts as well, your dedicated long runs at the weekend. It just gives a real big variety, so when you do have to run easy, it's just all part of the process, part of that structure. It shouldn't be too boring because you've got some much faster runs to look forward to in the next few days. Now, quite often you see a lot of pro athletes running in big jackets, and I often thought, why are they doing this? You see them on YouTube or whatever doing their training. It's just another way of forcing themselves to run slow so they don't overheat. Bit of a quirky one, but again, if you are struggling, put a jacket on and it will force you to slow down so you don't overheat. Now, the final little thing in this section is you've got to let go of your ego. Again, this is easier said than done. With a lot of people sharing their training on Strava and Instagram, all sorts of different social medias, but you've really got to let go of that and show people that are following your training just how good you can be at your easy runs. Because if you've got that discipline to do your easy runs nice and slow, come race day, you're going to be getting all of the kudos for just how fast you can run, because of all that training will have paid off. A lot of people do struggle as well when they go out on group runs, big group runs and things, because everyone's trying to push the pace, half step each other and things like that. Again, if the pace is too much for you, you've just got to dial it back. Drop out of the group a little bit, or just say to the guys around you, guys, I think this is too fast for me. Yes, it's a lot easier said than done, but the last thing you want to do is be going out for your runs and just training in that sort of grey area without having that real purpose and just not following your plan properly. It's just not going to work out very well. So there might be some problems we do need to overcome as well. What if it's super hot? Or what if you live in a particularly hilly area? Well, I'll deal with the hilly areas first. Now, I find it's best with this not to track like your live heart rate as you're running along, looking at your watch like this all the time, but just put average heart rate on your watch screen. And this can work well, even when you're running on the flat as well. And then just try and keep your average heart rate nicely in the middle of that zone too. If you go up a hill and it will spike up, it doesn't matter, because on the downhill it will drop down nicely again. So don't worry about it too much. Now, if we are going in particularly hot areas, heart rate is particularly good here as well, because your heart rate will be a lot higher as the temperature rises. So again, like what I said before with the ego things and that, you've just got to dial it back and make sure you're running truly easy. It's going to be a lot slower than you're used to. If you want our dedicated heat running video, we'll link to that up there and down below as well. And finally, if you're one of those people that just thinks easy runs are super boring, well, yeah, they are a little bit. But also you can inject a little bit of fun into them by doing some strides and some fartleks in there, just some minute surges every now and then. It shouldn't affect the overall average too much. So yeah, if you are sort of struggling to get a little bit bored, maybe give those little bits and pieces a go. Right guys, there we have it. That's easy runs done. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know how you're getting on with your easy runs. Any tips you want to share with the community, put them down below. That's it. I'm off to get another run done now. Keep on working hard, guys. Keep on getting it done. We'll see you very soon in the next one.